Hello, one, I am going to go live on Facebook. Oops, that's me. We're sharing the screen. And we will be getting started. Didn't want to do that. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me in the Champs at Word Problems Challenge. This is going to be a lot of fun. You're going to learn a lot of stuff. And what we're talking about today is math language. So let me just quickly do the share. You know that if you follow me and I go live, I always have to share in my groups in my group and my page. So one thing about math language is that it's something that a lot of us don't really understand, or we just don't realize that math is a language, and um, that we need to understand it in order to do word problems, which is what math consists of. Um, a lot of times, we may get, do this or um, add these two things, but we don't realize that we're actually speaking another language. It's funny, right? Let me just share real quick. One second more. And if you have not signed up already, because I am going live to the public, but if you haven't signed up already, it's a good idea if you sign up so that you can um, get this guide that I'm about to show you. So I'm doing Champs at Word Problems because I took a poll from you guys, and I had three things listed. And one of the things that most people wanted a workshop on was word problems. Like, everybody hates word problems. And I can understand why, based on how I was taught it, based on how most people are still being taught it, because it doesn't help you to get the whole view of what's going on. There's a lot that is um, weaved into word problems. And that's why I wanted to do the challenge, start the year off, and help you guys to master it and become champs. So if you want this guide that I'm about to show you, it is called the Pre-Algebraic Translation Guide. It's called Pre-Algebraic because I only have addition, multiplication, subtraction, and division, and then equal, which are what I'm going to be explaining what the translation of those terms are into the English language so that you can be able to identify these operations when you are reading your word problems. And that's the thing. So when you sign up, I'll send you the email for this. But if you haven't signed up, you can still look at it as I'm showing it to you here. So the reason why math language is so important, like I was saying before, is because like any other language, when you're learning the language that you currently speak, we're speaking in English right now. When you're learning that language, you start with words and terms, right? You don't start with just a paragraph because it's hard to do that. Thank you for the person who's watching, because it's hard to, you don't know what consists of the paragraph if you don't know what the words are. So when you understand the words, the phrases, the terms, how some phrases could actually mean um, the same thing in another language, and how the same thing could mean, or how different things in the other language can mean the same thing in your language, that's when you're able to move forward to reading and trying to understand and put thoughts and ideas and phrases together. So that will graduate you to actually reading and understanding what the word problem is. You start with the math terms, and like the ones I have on the screen here, and then you graduate to reading and understanding the actual word problem, the paragraph, the sentences. And that's actually what we're going to talk about tomorrow. So on the screen, you'll see that I have a diagram of words inside the operations that we're going to talk about. And scrolling down, I actually created a table that has a bunch of um, words and phrases, so even more words and phrases, examples of how you may see them in a word problem, and then the algebraic translation, so that you will be able to, hey Anthony Mingo, so that you'll be able to translate from verbal to algebra. So, excuse me. So let's look at a few. Um, Added to some of these are probably easy to understand, but some of them you're going to need a little extra thinking about it. So let's look at added to. For the example for added to, it says she added 3 cups to the mix. Okay, so she has a mix of, let's say she has a mix of cake batter. She added 3 cups to it. So that means the cake batter, C plus 3. C plus 3, 3 cups. The sum of 2 and 8. So sum of means you have already added. What are you adding? 2 and 8. And that's what the 2 plus 8 looks like. The total of his $5 and her money. So here we have an unknown. The unknown is her money. And so we're just going to say that that's M. M means money. And the $5 plus M is the algebraic translation of this verbal phrase. Um, let's look at together. Together, they were 14 inches. So I don't know what we're talking about, but I just know that together, so here's something, and here's another thing. When we put them all together, it equals 14 inches, and that's what x plus y plus z means. Let's look at subtraction. Hey, Miss Laquita and Miss Letitia, thank you guys for hopping on and for the hearts. Love it. And don't forget to share with all the people that you think will benefit from this video and this challenge. So let's look at subtraction. Your friends minus Jerry. Okay, so I tried to make these realistic as possible so that you'll be able to visualize what's going on. Because when you're doing your word problems, these type of situations are going to show up in your word problems. Not all of them. Some of them I got a little creative, only because that's how we speak. Sometimes we do say minus in our um, verbal language. So your friends minus Jerry means bring all your friends, but don't bring Jerry. Okay, your friends. So F is friends minus one. Let's look at decreased by. Her debt decreased by $400. So here's her debt. We're looking at the translation. Here's her debt. Debt is D, decreased by 400. That means we took 400 away from her debt. So debt minus 400. Here's another one that's not really easily understood all the time, and we don't use it that much, but it comes up in language. And actually, I think I started seeing this word less. I started seeing less when I got like notices from the bank or from insurance or something like that. So it says $1,000 less the withdrawal. So same as decreased by. You got $1,000, but less the withdrawal means um less the withdrawal, like whatever the withdrawal was, that is taken away from the $1,000. And like I said, it's kind of difficult to say it and visualize sometimes, but just think of less and match it with decreased by. So you can go ahead and translate within the English language. Like I said, there are more than one phrase you can use to express what you mean in algebraic language. Let's look at divide. Divided by, we already know that. That's pretty self-explanatory. But let's look at split, right? The sisters split the $50 cost. The sisters split it, right? So let's say we got four sisters. They split the cost. That means that we took the $50 and divided it into four sisters. That way, not one of them is paying the whole thing, but they're paying a smaller amount, which will give you $50. So that's what these two um, expressions, which are the algebraic translation, they're expressions. Let me zoom in some. I'm at 100. Yeah, that's what these two expressions mean. So we got 50 divided by S, sisters, and that's the usual way, the first way you learn how to write division, and then 50 over S as a fraction. That's the same thing as 50 divided by S. This bar in the middle of 50 and S, that means division, okay? Um, ratio. Ratio isn't really one that we use and identify as division so easily, just like less. A ratio of 4 to 7, and that's just a fraction, 4 to 7. You may see it 4:7 sometimes, but it is a fraction. This one, factored out, is not the easiest also, and it's actually something that we see in algebra. Um, but I wanted to put it on here because when I'm helping my students, it's hard for them to see that when they're factoring out, they're actually dividing. Each term inside the um, each term inside the parentheses. So let's say that 2x plus 6 is in parentheses. When we want to factor out something that they have in common, so a common factor, that means you have to divide it. You have to divide it out, and that's what I did here. 2x divided by 2, 6 divided by 2, and the 2 is on the outside, representing that the fact that you're factoring it out. And then once you simplify inside the parentheses, that gives you the fact that shows you that you factored out. Hi, Miss Tania. And so 2x plus 6 is equal to 2 times the sum of x plus 3. So that's another, that's like two verbal expressions inside the one algebraic translation. All right, multiplication, and then we're going to do equal, and I actually want to show you something else because I created a game for you to practice these translations. So I'm going to show you that as well, and then I'll be done. So with multiplication, multiplied by, that's pretty self-explanatory. Product of, so the product of 6 and a number. Sometimes you're going to get that. Sometimes you're not going to have the other um, number. It's just going to say 6 and a number, or another number, or a variable, or some other unknown. So the product of 6 and the number is 6 times n, or 6n. These are two ways that you can write it. Each. Hi, Mr. Robert. Thank you for hopping on. Each is another multiplication word. Excuse me, my throat's getting dry. For each, you can say $25 each at the door. So you're going to an event and you can pay ahead of time, or once you get to the event, it's $25 each. However many people come, each one of those people had to pay $25. And each will represent the X, because whoever is the event planner doesn't know how many people are going to be coming to the event. But X will represent the amount of people, and however many people come, they're paying $25 each. So that's a multiplication word. Double and triple. Those are also multiplication words. Double the price means that you're taking a price and multiplying it by 2. So it's going to give you your 2p, 2 times the price, and then triple your savings. It's going to give you 3s. So whatever your savings is, triple it. That means you're multiplying it by 3. Okay. One more. We got equal. Is or are is an equal word. 11 times a number is 44. And here is the algebraic translation. 11n equals 44. Is the same as, so that's a little bit different. 6 times 2 is the same as 3 times 4. What's 6 times 2? 12, right? What's 3 times 4? Also 12. So we can write it over here in the algebraic translation section as 6 times 2 equals 3 times 4. So all we're doing is taking our words and translating it to math language. Okay, that's how you express math language. This right here. Comes to. Okay, your bill comes to $19.95. $19.95. We use that all the time. So your bill, which is B, and we're going to go over variables as well in this challenge. Your bill is B. B equals or comes to $19.95. Let's do yields, and then I'll show you the game. So one avocado yields 29.5 grams of fat. One avocado, I put avo just to abbreviate, yields or equals 29.5 grams. So we want to, some of these words we don't really use, but some of these words we will see in a word problem or in a document that we have to be able to understand what it's talking about. So it's good to know the math language and how it translates back and forth between verbal and algebraic. Okay? If you have any questions, please leave them below. Thank you so much for hopping on. And who's watching right now? Robert, awesome. So I'm going to show show you the game that I made and to the rest of your day. So it's called the quiz, but you can look at it as a game as well. And once you sign up, you'll be able to play this game. What you're doing is basically filling in what you think the proper algebraic translation is. So here we have 4 less than m. 4 less than m. You can use the guide I just showed you to help you find the answer. But here are all the possible choices. And as you see, there are more choices than there are questions. And I think I'm going to add to this just to give you more practice. Um, the total of his shirt, sorry, the total of his $7, her $10, and dad's money. So you can choose from here to see which one it is. 55 miles per hour. What's the math word in this phrase? 2 pies are $10. What's the math word in this phrase? Got to get the answer when you choose the drop down. Okay? All right, everyone. For your time, and I hope you have a great day, and I hope you enjoy um, the. Oh, so Robert said, how do you play? You got to sign up for um, the challenge. The challenge link is in the description of this video, and you'll be able to sign up. I'll send you the guide and the link to the game. Okay. All right, everyone. Have a great day. Bye.